Hey everybody! Welcome to Ultimate Photoshop Mini Tutorial in 2025. If you've always wanted to learn Photoshop but didn't know where to start, you're in the right place. In this Adobe Photoshop mini course, we'll take you step by step through everything you need to know. This video is perfect for beginners, but even if you have some experience, you'll still find a lot of useful Photoshop editing tips and tricks. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to create stunning designs, edit photos like a pro. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe us on YouTube or follow us on Facebook for more helpful videos. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. So, let's start the course. Good luck!
Welcome to this beginner's course in Adobe Photoshop. If you don't have a version of Photoshop, you can go to the Adobe website, download a free trial here. So after you have downloaded the free trial, you'll start learning the basics of Photoshop. After you have installed Photoshop, you can launch the program. So this is the opening page. So you can click on this create new. So you'll be shown this page with lot of options. Photoshop already has saved different templates which you can choose. So let's start with this photo and this default size and just hit on create. So now this is the interface of Photoshop. So let's take a look at the different windows here. So these are the different windows. So you can click on this and it will open the different options. If you want, you can drag and put this outside and it will open in a separate window. You can collapse these icons. There is also a flyout menu for each of these windows. If you want to put it back, you can just drag and drop this back. So if you have made many changes like this, you can configure this interface in whichever way you want. And you can save this to a new workspace here. You can click on this new workspace and save this, give a name and save that workspace. If you want to reset this to the initial layout, you can click on reset essentials. And now it's reset to the original. Now to open files, you can go to file, new, then again you'll be taken to this templates. So you can choose any of this again. So let's choose this. Now you have two documents open. You can also drag and drop a file. You can also click on open and select your image and it will directly open on Photoshop. You can also do the same thing by going to this window, open your folder and you can just drag and drop this onto this bar and it will be open as a new image. To navigate between the files, you can hit Control tab or Command tab. To move between the different images. If you want to put this image into this one, you can simply drag and drop that into this. So you can select this one and simply drag and drop this into this one. And now you have dropped this image into the other image. Let's again go through the different ways with which you can open an image. The first way is to click on create new, and you can select for the different platforms, film, mobile, and just open a document, and you can place the image by clicking on place embedded, and you can select an image, and this image will appear, and you can move around the image and just place it here. Click on the move tool and it has been placed. The next way is to click on file, open, and then again you can go to your folder and then select the image, and it will open up as a new document. You can also do the same thing by going to your folder and just dragging and drop this image onto this bar. So now it has opened up as a new document. The next thing is layers. So to create a new layer, you can go to this icon here, create a new layer. Click on new layer and a layer is created. So layers are like the building blocks of Photoshop. So you can think it like a sandwich. So it has bottom bread, then there is a cheese, there's the burger inside that, and the top bread. So if you do anything, so let's take this paintbrush, and I have selected this layer, and I'm like drawing on top of this. So this image is not like affected because the layer is on top of this. So if I click on this I button, it will just disappear. So it is on the top layer, so it won't affect the layer beneath this. You can also select this and go to this opacity and change the opacity of that brush. There are also different blend modes available. You can cycle through them here. You can just select and cycle through the different blend modes. You can also duplicate a layer by going to duplicate layer. So layer is duplicated. You can group two layers by holding the shift button. And hitting command G. So now it's a group. So if I draw something on this group as a whole is affected. To change a layer name, you can just click on that layer and change the name. So layer name is changed. The other thing is the navigations. To navigate an image, you can zoom in an image hitting the command plus or command minus. You can also hold down the space key and move through the image you press the space key, you can move through the image. Hold down the space bar. Let's take a look at the selection tool. So you can select it by going to this rectangular marquee tool. So it is used to select a portion of the image. So you can drag and drop and you can move it around. If you need to deselect this, you can hit Command or Control D to deselect that. To add to this selection, you can hold the Shift button and then draw again to add to the existing selection. To subtract this, you can hold the Alt key and then drag it this. So now that is deleted, deselected. Let's take a look at the Move tool. So this is the top icon here. Move tool is used to move these images on the document. So you can use the arrow keys to move the image precisely. You can also hit the Shift button to constrain it to one plane. You can click on the Alt button and drag to duplicate the image. Also, you can see that these pink lines appearing. So this is what is called as smart guides. So it will help you to align the image correctly in the center or in the side. To enable that, you can go to View, Show Smart Guides. Make sure that this is ticked here. The same thing here. You can use the Move tool to select this portion. And you can move this around. To constrain it, you can hold the Shift button and then it will constrain to one plane. You can select this also, constrain it. The Shape tool is used to draw different shapes. So you can select here. You can just drag to draw a shape. You can hold the Shift button to draw a uniform shape. Let's select this ellipse. There are also options available for custom shapes. So you can go down here, select this custom shape, and then here select the different types of shapes. So you have a number of shapes available here, boats, flowers. So you can select this, then just draw. This flower will be appearing here. So here in the properties, you can change many of its features. So you can go and select this one. Then you can see this properties. You can change the width, change the height. You can move the position of this here also. You can choose the different colors to fill this. Also add a stroke. Let's add a red stroke and then increase the stroke width. You can change the stroke design to dotted lines, etc. You can also change the corner of this by dragging this, making it round. The type tool is used to add text to your image. So you can select it here. So if you press this, you can see the horizontal type tool and the vertical type tool. The horizontal type tool, let's type this something here. And you can change the settings of this by using selection tool and moving this anywhere you want. You can double click here to change the color to anything which you like. Also, you can cycle through the different fonts here. Different fonts here. There are also some other properties like the alignment. You can align it to the left, to the right. Also the type options here. So you can transform it to different things. You can just go through the different options here. You can adjust the space between the text. Change the font size. Also, there is something called as text wrapping. So this is like different styles you can select here in the shape of fish, waves, etc. So you can add the different styles to your image or the text. The same thing applies to the vertical type tool. So if you type this, again it will appear vertically. So you can double click and select the whole text and this type here again. So it will appear vertically. Same settings goes. You can change the different settings. Let's take a look at the adjustment layers. If you want to make this image black and white, you can do it destructively and non-destructively. So the destructive way is you can select this and you can go to image, adjustment and select this black and white. So now the image, you can change it, the different settings, then make it black and white. So you have added this effect to the image directly. To instead of doing that, you can use adjustment layers, which is a non-destructive method to do this. So you can undo that by hitting Command Z, and this is the adjustments panel. So you can see the different options here. So let's add this black and white effect. So now what you can see is a different layer has been added. So it is on top of this image and it is non-destructive. So you can make the changes as before, and it is not on the image directly. So you can just turn off this to do whatever changes you need. You can also add multiple adjustments on this. So you can add this posterize, and again you can change this look of this. So it is added on a different adjustment layer. There are a wide range of filters which you can apply in Photoshop. To do that, you can go to filters, then convert for smart filters, and this dialog box will come. You can click on OK. So it is converted to a smart object. Now what you have to do is you can select the different filters here. So let's select this Gaussian blur. So it has added a blur to the image. So let's click on OK. Now this smart filter is shown here. You can open it here. So you can also double click here to change the value of that blurriness. Also you can see this mask here. So what you can do is you can select this paintbrush tool and you can just brush on this. So you can change the size of this brush here by varying the size here, and you can brush the portions which you need to show in the pic. Make sure that you have selected this black here. Black is selected. In case you need to reverse this, you have to change this here to white, and you can paint in the blurriness back. So you make this selection to black, double click here, make it black, and let's just paint on this and make this bridge only show and the rest is blurred. So this is how you apply the different filters. There are many ways by which you can transform an image. To do that, you can click on the image and select duplicate layer. Click on OK. So now new layer has been created. You can go to edit and click on free transform or Control T. So you can now move this image. So there is a copy of the image in the back. So you can drag this, you can hold the shift and make it to a different size. You can click on Alt to just constrain it or scale it to a point. You can go to the edges and rotate this. You can hold down the shift button to rotate in angles. If you right click this image, there are even more settings. So you can right click and you can see the settings here. Flip horizontal, flip vertical. You can also do this skew. So if you do that, you can see that only one side of this or a point of this is like skewed. You can also do this perspective, and so these are the different effects which you can do. You can also do this, rotate it 180 degrees, 90 degrees clockwise. Also the option to do warping. So these are the different options which you can do to alter the image. You can draw a mask or do masking to affect only a part of the image. For example, in this one, let's change the color of this boat. To do that, you can go to this marquee tool. We have this lasso tool. So let's draw a rough selection around this boat. So you can just draw a rough selection and you have created a mask here. Now let's add adjustment layer. Let's do the hue saturation, and then you can just change the value of that. So you can see that only that color of the boat is changing because you have drawn the mask. Now you can alt and click on this to see your mask selection. You can also shift, click on this to disable this mask. Now it's affecting the whole picture. So shift click to disable the mask. When you're editing your images, usually you need to undo anything. You can use the Command Z button. For example, let's do some changes to this. So let's draw some shapes here. So at any point, if you need to go back, you can hit the Command Z and it will undo each and every change. In case it doesn't work, you can hit Command Alt Z. You can also access this history brush tool to go back to where you started. So if I again make some changes, you can see this history brush tool here, and you can see this. You can go back each step by clicking here and undoing each step. Also make sure that you go to preferences, go to performance and make this history states 50 to 100. Now it's currently 50. You have to make it higher, like 100, click on OK. To crop or resize an image, use the crop tool. The crop tool is under here, so you can select this crop tool. So you will see this edges appearing, so you can just drag and just move this. And you can just move the edges and resize it in any shape. You can also go to the options here and select the different aspect ratios like 16:9 or 1:1 and just move it. So after you have just selected the portions, you can just select this bridge and then just click on this. So you have cropped that image. So don't use this marquee tool to crop. It is the wrong way to use the crop tool. You should always use this crop tool. Also, there is an option here, use this straighten, where you can draw a line to resize the image to the correct proportions. You can also, if you change your mind, you can click on this delete crop pixels and just recrop that. If you want to change your crop. To remove any marks or spots on your image, you can use the healing brush tool, the spot healing brush tool. To select that, go to the options here. You can see a wide range of tools. Just select the spot healing brush tool and you can go and just click on this different spots and it will be removed automatically. So this uses AI technology to automatically sample the images near this and remove this. So this is an easy way to clean your images. There is also the healing brush tool, which you can click on, hold down alt button to sample a area like this and then use that area to cover this. So it will just, you can see that it uses that area to sample and just make the adjustments. So you can hold down here and then just drag and draw on the top to sample areas nearby. Let's take a look at how you can save and export your file. To export your file, you can choose from different formats like JPEG, PNG, and you can also save your project as a Photoshop document here. So you can click on Save As and choose this Photoshop PSD. So this will be saved as a Photoshop document which you can edit later. If you want to export your file as an image, you can select a wide range of formats: JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, etc. So let's select this JPEG and just give a name, bot, and click on save. And you will be shown this options. You can choose the maximum, just click on OK. So now your file will be saved in that folder. When you are exporting for the web, you should choose another option. So that is, you should go to export and export as. So this is the option for saving to the web. Here you can again choose the different file formats. So best is PNG or GIF, and you can even change the size of this. So let's make it square. So now this image has been resized to a square shape, and like earlier, you can go and hit the export button.